What's good, world? How you doing? My name is Dolore. This is my testimony. Where you're going and how you can set this up, we don't even have to do that. So pretty much, man, just a little backstory. This was about 3 years ago. At the time, I had a really bad cocaine problem. I've been doing coke for about close to 15 years, you know what I mean? I was living crazy, pretty much, man. So, long story short, I had a homeboy from back home, and he was going through some hard times. He needed a place to stay, so I told him, come stay on my couch, get back on your feet. Sure enough, man, the first weekend he was there, we went out and we had got drunk, and we had gotten into an altercation with each other, and ended up getting into a fight at my house. And the neighbors had actually called the cops on us because I took them outside, we were in the front yard. So anyways, I went back to sleep. Then I get woke up to somebody knocking at my door. There was about 8 or 9 sheriffs. I won't say what sheriff's department, but this is a true story. I don't care what you think. But the cops pulled us both outside, started talking to me and my friend. We both knew the deal. We weren't, nobody was mad at each other like that. We weren't, real cooperative with the cops, but so they were kind of upset. And at the time, I was actually on felony probation for felony drug charges, and I still had about a year or so to go on probation. And they started bringing that up. Aren't you on probation? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, like, well, we got to go in your house. And I was like, why? We're both outside, blah, blah, blah. They're like, don't just make it easy on yourself and just be quiet. So I just sat there on the curb. They went in my house, they came back out, and they had the biggest bag of cocaine I've seen, I think, ever. High-fiving each other. We got some cocaine, boys, like some real cowboy stuff, man. It was crazy. They asked me if it was mine. I was like, I never seen that in my life. And honestly, I had a coke problem, but that night we weren't doing coke. We both were completely broke. We went out and got drunk on the strength of our friends looking out for us. Neither one of us had money. Neither one of us had coke. I was asleep when the cops had woke me up, so I wasn't doing coke. I know he didn't have coke. And he said it wasn't mine. I said it wasn't mine. He said it wasn't his. I said it wasn't mine. And they said, well, since I was the one on probation, and since it was my house, I was going to jail for it. So I was in jail for a little bit less than a week. And I was just thinking how crazy it was that I got falsely arrested for cocaine that wasn't mine when I had a coke problem. And at that time, my mom, who is a nice little church lady, she had always been telling me, I need to get my life right with God. That would be the answer to my problems, and my life would be better, and if not for your soul's sake, for eternity. So I had really thought about that a lot when I was in jail, and I decided, okay, well, I'm going to listen to my moms, I'm going to accept Christ, and I'm going to start trying to live for God. And since my violation of probation didn't hit, I had actually got bailed out on the possession of cocaine charge, and I was able to get out of jail. And that weekend, I had went to my mom and dad's church, actually, and I had accepted Christ, and I gave him my life from that point on. And the next week, my lawyer, I had to get a lawyer. She told me I'd have to turn myself in when the violation of probation charge hit, and I'd have to go back to jail. So it was like a week or so after that had happened, and I went to turn myself in. And this is after I became a Christian. Nothing was really different except my attitude. Before, it was like the worst thing that ever happened to me. Now I was at peace with it. My lawyer said I'd do at least a year in jail, and she would try to give me a parole hearing to where I could get released from jail until I had to go to court. And then if I was convicted, I was looking at 15 years in prison. And with my record and everything, it wasn't looking too good for me. But I was at peace with it. I thought I'd get in shape, I'd get closer to God. I was trying to be positive about it. That was probably the only difference at this time. But when I turned myself in, things got really weird, and it was more affirmation that God was looking out for me and I had made the right decision in my life. I turned myself in the 33rd, and I'm in a little subpart, little glass room in shackles. You're not really in bookings or nothing yet. You're just waiting to go upstairs. And about an hour in this little room, this guy comes up to me and he says, "They told you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Come on, I got to take you in this room, get your height and your weight, you're getting out of here." And I'm like, "I'm getting out of here. I just turned myself in, for felony violation of probation. Like, what are you talking about?" He's like, "I don't know what to tell you. Just come with me, man. You want to get out?" I'm like, "Of course I want to get out." So I went with him. He got me sized and measured. I'm asking him why he's doing it. Like, what do you? This is crazy. And he was like, I don't know what to tell you, man. It sounds crazy to me too, but. So they said that a judge had faxed over a fax to them saying that he knew me, I was a good kid, and to put me on pretrial release until I went to court. And I don't know any judges. I don't know. The only judges I know are the ones that convicted me in court. I don't know judges like that. My family isn't a well-to-do family. Like, I don't know this judge. So anyways, about an hour of turning myself in, I'm released and I'm out of jail. And it was weird, and there was about a month before I had to go to court for the whole thing. And that's when things got really weird. I went to court and I got this paper in the mail saying I had to go to court to a certain place. The place I had to go to court was under 33rd, and it was normally for parole and probation hearings of people that were in jail, not for people that are free. Alright, mind you that. And plus, I'm Italian, I like to get fresh. I had a purple silk shirt on, the tie, the slacks, the whole nine. And I go there, they're like, I go to the little desk and they're like, hey, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I'm here for court. And they're like, people don't come to court this way. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, I got court. So they're like, go down this hallway then and talk to these guys down there. So I go down the other hallway. There's a couple COs there at the little desk, and I tell them the same thing. And they're like, nah, like, what are you talking about? And they said the same thing the lady said. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm here for court, man. So they are like, what's your name? I told him my name. The guy gets on the radio and starts radioing in the information, and he pulls out a gun and tells me not to move. He's like, don't move. He's like, we got him. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, we have you listed as escaped. We went to send for you for court this morning, and you weren't there, so we have you listed as escaped. I'm like, bro, I'm here for court, dressed fly. Like, what do you think? I broke out and got fresh and came to term for court? Like, it didn't make no sense. He's like, I don't know what to tell you, man. So they put me in this little room, put me in shackles, and put me in this little room where everybody's in county blues, bro, in shackles, and I'm the only one in normal clothes. So when they call my name, you're not in the courtroom, you're in a little side room, and you have to go in this little phone booth thing with a microphone and headphones. And the judge just looked at me, Mr. Jonathan Dolore. I said, yeah. He's like, your lawyer did a good job, I never want to see you again. And I was like, okay. I didn't say anything else. I just kind of was like, all right. And I turned around and I left. And that was the end of it. I had probation, so I would saw my PO the next week or so, that next month, monthly visit. And he said the same thing. What are you doing here? You're supposed to be in jail. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Everybody keeps telling me that. I'm tired of hearing that. I'm not in jail. I'm out. He's like, well, all right, we'll stay out of trouble, and I'll see you next month. And that was it, man. And, that was 3 years ago. And every day, nobody's ever going to be perfect. Don't ever fool yourself that if you're a Christian, you have to be perfect or you have to get right for God. It's not like that. He uses you. He molds you, and he gets you to where you need to be. And it's been 3 years now, and I haven't done coke since. I used to drink like a fish. You hardly ever see me drink. I'm not gonna lie. On birthdays or something, I might have a beer too, but that's about it. And my life's just totally different. It's a lot better now. Even when things are bad, they're good because I look at it as a lesson learned, And he's really molding me instead of a negative situation. But so that's how it happened, man. That's how I became a Christian. That's how my life changed, man. And you can probably hear it in my music. It's a little different subject matter. And if you want to check out the music, go to reverbnation.com/Dolore, DOLORE, and you can download all my tracks for free and listen to the music. I don't want your money, I just want your ears right now. That's it, man. But you guys have a blessed day. And if anybody wants to talk to me about anything, find a way to message me. Facebook, Jonathan Dolore, Instagram @Positive Dolore, DOLORE. There's a link to the music there. Just message me and talk to me, man. I'm a humble dude. I love to talk to you about it.
I know it's more than a dream. It's more than it seems. I know. That's all I know. Oh, I know. That's all I know. I know it's more than a dream. It's more than it seems. I know. That's all I know. I know. That's all I know. More than a dream. Dolore, just a product of the mobile homes. Mama was a G, yeah. Papa